Amazing. My name is Thea Harriday. My nickname is Timmy, which somewhat people know me. And some of you on the board know me, or they know of my kids. Director Kelleher, we had a kid go from kindercare all the way through graduation, and I remember when your daughter was born. Yep. Director Erickson, I think you actually knew my husband, and one of your daughters and one of mine graduated together, and we're friends. Director Scully, you're the outstanding lacrosse game announcer, hands down, that there ever was. In all of their years apart, we had goalies. Chairman, Madam Volk, you have to be so dedicated to this. You have been doing this for almost 20 years, so you must, sorry, but you were really young when you started. Yeah. So you have to really, really care. And Director Lind, we don't know each other well, but we do from church. And Director Lewis, I think you were on the school board a long time ago, maybe? Yeah. When my daughter Solveig was called Black Bitch and Stupid Nigger and actually came to the school board, and I believe that Barb had her do a video on what it was like to be a person of color in the school district that was to be used for training. And Superintendent Bauman, you're new, welcome. You have a big task on your hands. I would like to say that one of my kids graduated in 1993, and prior to graduation has dealt with this school board for years on the problem of racism. And all of your predecessors have said thank you for the information and really done nothing. So I'm here tonight, I want to help. And for the audience, is there anybody here who has known a student of color who has had a negative impact in the school system? Would you raise your hands? I would like to take this time to share my story and a resource I've encountered that has opened my eyes just recently. It's a positive resource for collaboration with the school district and with parents and with minority students. I'm the widow of an African-American Lutheran pastor. We were married for 47 years, married in the infamous year of 1968. He was the second to graduate from St. Olaf College, the first to get his master's in divinity from Luther Seminary and became an ordained minister. We moved to California in 1971, where we were temporarily there for 20 years. Most of those years living in inner city LA and a few years living in Carson, adjacent to Compton. In order to make financial ends meet, this husband of mine, not only being an ELCA pastor, was also a social worker, a Compton High School substitute teacher, a chauffeur, and a shoe shine boy. In 1991, we moved back from California to Minnesota, and we selected Lakeville for our residence because of this amazing education program that's here. All of our years of marriage, my husband was stopped countless times for traffic violations, basically because, as Bob, you know, he was very dark-skinned. And one example would be on 170th in Lakeville. He was stopped and detained for 45 minutes because the officer didn't know what this black man was doing in Lakeville. The officer went to his car, working on his computer, trying to find warrants, misdemeanors, anything, until all of a sudden he realized after 45 minutes that the address on the driver's license was just 2 blocks away. So the officer went to the car and said, I think you made a wrong turn back there, so be more careful. Go on your way. Me personally, I went to Augsburg College from 1964 to 1968. I was put on psychological probation for dating this guy and denied graduation. I was handed my degree when we moved back, and I got it in 1993. Now, Augsburg is probably the most diverse college around, so there's hope. There can be change. Terry, the man that you hired 3 times, introduced to our church's adult ed group 3 years ago, exactly. A book that has totally impacted me and got me on my journey of better understanding. Because all those years I thought I understood racism. I really thought I did, but I didn't. It opened my eyes to begin my long journey after my husband's death to figure out what my advantages were and what my misunderstandings were. I know that all of you are deeply committed to education. So I contacted the author of that book, and we exchanged lots of things, and she would like to help you on your journey of better understanding. She has sent me a personalized book for each one of you, and in those little packets, you will find, and Cheryl will pass them out to you.
Give them to John, and he'll give them to us after the meeting.
Okay. And they're each personalized, and they each have highlighters in them.
Okay.
And they have flags in them, and you also find my email address so that you can contact me with questions. And the author would very much like you to pass on the book. So on the signature page, there's a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to pass the books on. And we feel very strongly to invite you to participate in this collaboration with you, the administration, the teachers, and the parents so that we can move forward with a better understanding. I think this is a huge opportunity for District 194 to not only be a leader south of the river, but also metro, also statewide, and even possibly nationally, because the author of this book, and it's called Waking Up White and Finding Myself in the Story of Race. And for those here, I got my copy on Amazon.com. And it's a simple read. The chapters are short. You can put comments in it. The author will be watching your progress, and she's very excited to help you because this is a big issue, and I know you guys all care. So I would like to close with a quote from Dalai Lama. When you talk, you are already repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. Thank you.
Thank you.